Congratulations. Because if you found this prayer, you are going to get extremely rich. Now, first things first, let me just explain how this is going to work. Because you are going to get extremely rich. Now, the way this will work is I'm going to give you the prayer. The prayer and the words in it are very important. Don't get me wrong. But what is even more important is understanding why you are using this prayer and understanding how this prayer actually works. So we're going to break that down in step number 1 being the prayer, step number 2, why this prayer, and step number 3, how this prayer really works to increase the money in your life. My name is Jake with jakeducey.com, wishing you a beautiful day. Get ready because your life is about to change forever. Before we dive into this though, if you haven't yet, I have a free financial success hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned to the comments and it's in the description right there down below. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's free to use. It's my free financial success hypnosis to reprogram your subconscious mind so your subconscious mind turns into a magnet for money, because your subconscious mind controls 95% of your life. It's working all day. Stanford University did a study. They found that we have 60 to 65,000 thoughts every day. Crazy. We only remember a couple of them, right? Or at least I only remember a couple of them. Well, 60 to 65,000. So think about how many money thoughts you have every day. Well, they found that 70 to 75% of those are negative and redundant, meaning they're just the same thing over and over. So what's happening is subconsciously this is occurring. And it is negative and redundant money thoughts, beliefs, and actions that are limiting your bank account and how much money you can earn. But if you reprogram it through repetition, because they found that you can reprogram your subconscious just by listening to audio suggestions, you can actually turn your subconscious into a magnet for attracting more money into your life. Mine's free to use. It doesn't take long. You can listen to it for 60 seconds a day. The amount of time isn't relevant. It's just that you do it every day so you get the constant spaced repetition into your subconscious. That's like giving your subconscious a new instruction manual that all of a sudden it needs to start bringing more money into your life. So it's free to use. It's jakeshypnosis.com, pinned to the comments and in the description right there down below. Now, the prayer. God is my source of all wealth and supply. God is my source of all wealth and supply. Now, if you, let me just say first, you prefer a different word than God, that's fine. I use the word God, so that's what I put there. Alan Watts says you can't get wet by the word water. So if you want a different word, whether it's spirit or universe, or it is a different word for God from a different language, a different religion, insert whatever it is. Higher power, spirit, energy. It could be any religious word, any spiritual figure. You could put their name there instead of God. It'll work all the same way as long as you are acknowledging it as some type of a higher power. Now, the reason this is so powerful is the most important part. But what I want you to do is I want you to just repeat that. You can comment it down below. God is my source of supply of all wealth. God is my source of supply of all wealth. Now, the important thing there, if God is my source of supply, then what are the qualities of God? Well, God is infinite in nature, right? Infinite means it is constantly expanding. And if I'm an extension of God energy and God energy controls my life, that means it controls my bank account. And if the qualities of God are infinite, that means my bank account can follow the same trajectory of constant expansion and fuller expression. What else? What other qualities of God? Well, it's instantaneous, right? It's omnipresent. It's in all places at all times. There's no past or future with it, so everything happens instantaneously. So if God is your source of supply, guess what? You are actually accessing a higher power that is instantaneous and omnipresent, meaning you are heard instantaneously. It can occur instantaneously. The wheels can be set in motion instantaneously for that job opportunity, that sale, the money you need. Boom, just like that, it's instantaneous. The wheels can be set into motion. It's creative, right? It's creative by definition because it is the creator. So it is creative, meaning you may not know how. You may be like, well, I want to make $10,000 a month. I want to be able to pay off my $75,000 in credit cards. I want to buy my dream house. But I don't know how. I can't figure it out. I can't come up with the right ideas. That's okay. If God is your source of all supply and all wealth, then guess what? It's creative in nature. You don't need to know how. You don't need to know how it will occur. You don't need to know what will happen because it's no longer your job, because you aren't assuming the role as the creator of your source and supply of wealth. You've now passed that on to the big energy. You've now passed that on to the creator of the universe, which is creative in nature. So if you've been banging your head against the wall, I can't figure this out, I can't come with the right idea, guess what? The right idea is going to come to you at 2 a.m. It's going to come to you when you're in the shower. You're washing your face and you're like, holy crap, why didn't I think of this sooner? Holy cow, I just got the idea. It just came to me. Oh my gosh. And it's going to be the idea for a book that sells 1 million copies. It's going to be the idea for why you haven't been able to close the sales in your business, and now you have a new way you're going to go about it, and boom, it's going to bring millions of dollars. It's a new idea for a problem you've been having at work or in your business that's going to bring thousands of new dollars, immeasurable amount of money, because God is creative, and now that God is your source of supply, you've invited it in as your source of supply. You've opened yourself up to divine creativity. What else is God? It is loving, it is forgiving, and it is all-knowing. So, a lot of people believe they can't have the things that they want in life because of their past. Something that they did, bad things they did, bad things that happened to them, something somebody did to them, and they live with guilt or shame. They live with a burden. Well, God is forgiving in nature, and it is loving in nature, and it is all-knowing. So you're already forgiven. You're already good enough. If God is your source of supply. If God is not your source of supply, and here you are, third dimensional you, and you've got to go figure it out, then it's like, good luck, because it's all based off of your core belief. And if deep down you don't believe you're good enough, if deep down you don't believe you're worthy, if you did some bad things or some bad things happened to you or something happened in childhood that you were a witness of that has in some ways molded you in a way where you don't feel worthy of receiving or you don't think you're good enough, then that's your modus operandi. That's the software that controls your financial reality. But if God is your source of supply, none of those things matter because you're already forgiven. Because God loves and God promises these things, and you're made in the image of God. And if you're made in the image of God, then by default, what is the image of God, right? It's infinite in nature, it's expansive, it's fuller expression, it's creative, it's all of these things. Therefore, as being made in the image of God, you are already worthy of all these things that you could want. Now, here's the big key. Because this works extremely well. Once it does work, the key is to not get lost back in your mind. In the Bible, people will reference the love of money is the root of all evil. This is saying if you emphasize material possessions as your own achievement, as your own accomplishment. So every time a good thing happens, I have my dream car. It's a nice, fast sports car. It's convertible. It's fun. It's not mine. It's God's. God gave it to me. Like, I have my dream house. It's a beautiful home. It's mountain view in every direction. It's a nice house. It's not mine. I could go, look at me, what I did. I could say that just in my own mind, right? But if I say that in my own mind, even to myself, then what I've done is I have negated or excluded the creator of the universe from my finances. Therefore, I've inherently limited myself. But when I walk in, I wake up in the morning, I look at the mountains, and I'm like, my older daughter has mountain views from all rooms in her bedroom. It's pretty freaking cool. I'm like, dude, how the heck? I always tell her, I'm like, man, you must be really loved by God or something, huh? Because you got mountain views in every room. Most adults don't have it. And I just remind her that clearly God really loves her because you have a mountain view from your bed. Now, what am I doing? I'm priming her to recognize that God is her source of supply. That's what I'm doing. And so every time you achieve something, every time something good happens as a result of this prayer, remind yourself that's God. The money you have, the lack thereof, and recognize, because some people might be like, well, then why does my life suck? Why am I broke? It's because you, to the degree that you have not achieved a level of financial success, is to the degree that you have not invited God into your finances, that you have not invited creative spirit into your finances. You've saw it as a purely materialistic pursuit. And not to say you're materialistic. What I mean by that is we've seen it purely as this thing we have to do on our own. It's not spiritual. It's just the way the world is, and we live in this world of money, and it's just the way it is, and I have to do it, and I don't want to do it. But then spiritual is this other thing over here where you go to the mountains and you meditate and you light incense, and then you can talk to God, but it's separate from business. It's separate from money. But it's not, because there's only one energy here. So instead of looking as money as this materialistic thing that you have to do on third dimension, and it's this unfortunate responsibility, instead see it as spiritual. Then you'll actually expedite your own spiritual growth, because you're no longer just waiting till Sunday at church. And I go to church. Church is great. But that's not the only time that I invite God. And I invite God when I'm doing my taxes. Even that, I don't look at my taxes and go, damn, government stole like all this money from me. I go, geez, God, you got me all this money this year? Thank you. Holy cow. And if you keep doing that and acknowledge God as your source of supply, so much money will come into your life. So many new opportunities will come into your life. It will blow your mind, because now you're not living from the consciousness of the physical world, your physical self, the material reality. Now you're living from the consciousness of spirit, and there are no limitations to spirit. There are no limitations to God, because God created all things, which means your life is about to be blessed beyond measure. So what I invite you to do is repeat this prayer over and over. Keep thanking God and bringing God to the forefront of your mind as your source of supply of all wealth, of all success, of everything in your life. This takes the burden off of you having to figure it all out, and this invites this beautiful, miraculous, spiritual energy, to which we're all a part of, into your life. And when you're doing this, you're inviting it to show up. And it does show up in beautiful ways, in unexpected ways, unexpected money, unexpected opportunities, unexpected financial miracles.